that he chased the robber to that street and that he jumped into a getaway car, which he lied about. And the story that they gave Rachel, who is also on tape, Rachel told the time that it happened right at 6 o'clock. In the tape, she also stated, when I was asking her about the robber's height in the tape, she stated that Jason told her the smaller one, as in height, was the driver, and I have that on tape. The reason Jason told her the smaller one, as in height, was the driver is because he knew that Rachel seen the robber's height. You see what I'm saying? Albert is taller than Willie, so he knew that she seen the robber's height. So in order to deceive her, he told her that Willie was the getaway driver. So which is why Rachel is coming to court, because she's believing that Willie was the getaway driver, because she knows that Albert was she knows that Albert was the robber. And she's believing that Willie was the getaway driver, and that she's thinking that somebody is trying to help him get away with something, which is not even the case. Jason and his friends are the ones that are lying to her, and deceiving her. But of course, she believes him because he's a cop, and there goes that image that I told you that sometimes people try to portray. They try to portray this little innocent image and deceive people. But in reality, Jason is a wolf in sheep clothing. So anyway, you heard it yourself, people. I could play the tape of Rachel if you all would be interested. But unfortunately, the tape with Rachel, I'm jumping and switching as far as the questions back and forth, I'm telling her that I'm there for a loan, so I'll talk to her about the robbery. Then I'll jump and talk to her about getting a loan to kind of throw her off, to be able to try to get some information out of her. The only good pieces that I got out of Rachel is the time that the crime happened, as far as, Jason telling her that the smaller one, as in height, was the getaway driver, which wasn't true, but that's what he's telling her, because there was no getaway car. And another thing is, she told how much money they keep in the store, which is $150. And they're stating on paper that $168 was taken. So where would the extra money have come from? Not to mention, she actually did tell me the robber's height, that he was 6 some feet tall in the tape. But those are pretty much the good pieces that I got out of her, because she actually said she don't remember how the robber looks, but when he went to court, she got in court and she lied, unfortunately, because she had been coached into what to say. And she lied and said that it was Willie. But she's actually on tape as well, stating that she was so hysterical, she don't remember how the robber looks at all, except as far as the height. So, she's on tape. So, and of course, the prosecutor claims that he didn't know the tapes exist until the day of the court. And of course, he said, well, I wouldn't have let the tapes in anyway. So, of course, he pretty much would not have let anything in that was going to prove Willie innocence, because they want to be able to help these cops get away with what they did, as well as he wants to prosecute. So there you have it yourself, hardcore evidence. There's lots of paperwork to back up as far as what I have said. There's plenty of paperwork to back that up. So, people, you judge for yourself. And once again, I'm going to say to you for the last time, do not be surprised at people's behavior, because they are only imperfect human beings. There you have it. Hardcore evidence. The Montgomery Police Department being corrupt. There are several more people that I actually didn't get a chance to name, because I went to just about every place in Montgomery. I went to the FBI's office for help. I actually wound up getting into it with the supervisor at the FBI's office. I went there 4 times. I went to the Attorney General's office. The guy there, Mr. Zook, he waited till he got me alone, and he says, yeah, believe me, the evidence you have won't stand up in court, until I called him back and I told him, that I told him that the civil rights had the case. And then he says, hey, you remember that evidence you got? I told you to give to your attorney, but that's not what he said. So, unfortunately, people, like I said, they hold up a certain image. I mean, what they're doing to Willie is completely low down on every single level, because they wouldn't want anybody to do this to them or their family members, but yet and still they're doing it to somebody else. It's almost like a killer. A killer can go and kill somebody, but they don't want nobody to kill them. So I can't speak as far as, how they get sleep at night, knowing all the evil stuff that they're doing. Apparently, they're just wicked hearted people. They all have, wicked hearts. They're able to, do evil and get plenty of rest at night. As far as I spoke on Casey Macy, she lied about it being Willie, but she didn't know that I would go and speak to the storage owner and that he will give a completely different story from what she gave. Again, Art Day, he's lying. And not to mention the second tape. Now, listen to this, people. The second tape that they played in court, you can see Art Day's face, but you can't see the robber's face. Now, how convenient is that? Yeah, these people are some real devils, I tell you. But like I said, post your comments. And I just kind of feel like it's time for us to stick up for, our rights and to stop this abuse of power. I mean, it's been going on too long. I know we're not going to be able to change the world, but at least, the next time a officer or, a prosecutor or judge or anybody that has some type of power behind them, at least the next time they think about doing something corrupt, they will think twice, because there will be some type of consequences for their actions. I hate that, these witnesses are in fear of their lives, which is very unfortunately, and I know that they're upset because they kind of feel like I got them involved in this by doing the interview. But my thing is, I don't feel like I was doing anything wrong, because they were witnesses to an actual crime. So I don't feel like I'm at fault here, because I didn't make the police go and threaten them. So why the hostility towards me? If anything, direct your hostility towards the police, because they're the ones who's responsible for all this, not to mention responsible for threatening, Stanley and trying to force his sister to change her story. So be mad at them. Don't be mad at me, because I have not once asked anybody to be dishonest. And as far as the girl from the fire sub, she can be witness. I never asked her to be dishonest. Even her friend who I first talked to, who got me in touch with her, she could be witness. I never asked anybody to be dishonest. I always told people, tell the truth. Tell what you saw, what happened. That's it. The truth is the truth, people. So unfortunately, when people want to do wrong and get away with it, they don't want to hear the truth. I'm speaking of the police officers. It infuriates them when you have evidence to back up, what you have to say. They don't like that. People don't like to hear the truth, especially when they know they have done wrong. My thing is, if the police really wanted to do the right thing, they could have made up anything. They could have said, hey, look, we got the wrong guy, anything. But they have gone too far with this. Willie's been locked up since 2012. It's now 2014. And not only that, Willie was given a life sentence for something he didn't do. Here in the state of Alabama, they got the 3-strike law. And see, Willie has a prior record. So he was given life without parole for something he did not do. I cannot imagine what Willie must be feeling to be in the situation he's in. I can't imagine that, to be given a life sentence for something that you didn't do. And you have to sit there every day for the rest of your life knowing that you're an innocent person, and knowing that people know you're innocent, but because they work in law enforcement, people trying to help them get away with something. I mean, it's disgusting. And every time I see a police car, I get sick to the stomach because I'm thinking, who knows who's behind the wheel of that car? Is it a good police officer or is it a corrupt one? And that's the feeling I get when I see patrol cars nowadays, because I seen firsthand how far the police will go to cover up from doing something crooked. My name is Latoya Villa Gomez. Thank you for listening. I know I've spoken a lot. I'm going to end this tape now, and thank you for listening.